Fantastic. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the June edition of Coffee with Cathy. It's my pleasure to welcome my friends Ramiro Navarro from the Chariots Board of Directors, Betty Hart from the Kaiser Fire District, Pastor Jose Dominguez from La Luz de Valle Church, and our special guest today, the principal of Mcnary High School, Eric Jespersen.
Good
morning. We're going to
morning.
be able to share with you a few things today about what's going on in the community. And when this posts on Facebook, we welcome your input and your questions to any of us. Want to let Ramiro go first today because he's involved in a special meeting with the transit district. So I'll let you tell us about that and what's going on with the service at Chariots. Welcome and thank you for joining us today, Ramiro.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Clark. And it's just my luck that as soon as I start talking, the buses pull up out here. And so I'm going to walk over this way. But yeah, so today I'm calling from the West Salem Transit Center. We're having a board meeting to talk about our strategic plan and how we can make changes to Chariots to better serve the community. Some updates that I do have is this month, for being that Juneteenth is a federal holiday and now we are operating on holidays, we are going to be running at our Sunday service level during that holiday, which just happens to fall on a Sunday, so really nothing's going to change there. Monday we will be operating on the same schedule, but the offices the administrative offices will be closed. Yeah, and that's pretty much my update that I have for Chariots. I mean, one thing that I also want to kind of bring to the community is that if you are somebody who attends the Southeast Kaiser Community Center, last night was their last dinner for the summer. So they're going to be shutting down for the summer and opening up either late August or early September, right before the school starts again, so that they can continue providing that amazing service to the community. And so I hope to see you guys there when it opens back up.
Well, fantastic. And if people want to get involved with the strategic plan, that's on your website, correct?
Absolutely, yes. And so the strategic plan is on our website. You can always feel free to reach out to me as well to be able to bring your voice to the Chariots board. You can do that through email is usually the best way, which is ramiro.navarro@chariots.org.
Well, fantastic. And I really appreciate the effort that's being put in to take a long-range view on Chariots, which is an essential service for the people in our community. So we wish you and the entire board all the best as you try to capture a vision and put it into practice for the future.
Awesome. Thank you. You guys have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks.
Bye.
Well, it's now my pleasure to welcome Eric Jespersen, the principal of Mcnary High School. And we were chatting just before we went live about some of the things going on with the end of the school year and how our students did. So welcome, Eric, and thank you for joining us today. And congratulations on another fantastic year at the world-class Mcnary High School. Oh, and by the way, this is one of the shirts that was produced for Mcnary.
It's a good-looking shirt, Mayor Clark.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Pastor Dominguez, Betty. Great seeing you guys, and so glad to be part of this program.
So tell us about how the school year went, and you were saying that our Mcnary High School is about 2,100 strong.
Yeah, it fluctuates between 2,000 and 2,100, actually depending on the year and depending on the time of year. But yeah, we're right around that number. The year was, it was an interesting year. That's how I would describe it. This is my 8th year of being at Mcnary, and it was different than the prior year for obvious reasons, and it was different than, say, 2019. We had kids that were coming out of the darkness, so to speak. They were, coming out of a time when they were learning everything in their bedrooms, and then we went to hybrid last spring. And that was not completely normal. So when we started this fall, it was the first time in a long time kids had gone to school full-time in the building. And if you're an incoming freshman, that means that you had your last real year was as a 6th grader. So we had some teaching of reading, writing, and arithmetic, and just how to be, how to get along in a very large comprehensive high school. First semester was more of that. Second semester felt very normal for me. So I think we got a lot of things corrected right around January, February.
Well, and there was a new school. The kids who had left, when they left, it was the old Mcnary High School. They came back and wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we did have most of the construction done last spring, but again, those kids that were on our campus were only on our campus half time and was only half the kids. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much newness. I mean, going through the bond, going through the pandemic, all the things that were associated with that. I wasn't surprised that there needed to be an adjustment, but I am happy with how we finished out the year. The last 4 or 5 months for me felt very normal. And, we'll probably talk at some point in this conversation about, some next steps, some things I'm hoping for as we go into next school year. So we can really get back to full strength. But yeah, I feel good. I'm really happy with our staff and with our kids.
Well, you know that the Kaiser community as a whole embraces and has a very strong connection with Mcnary High School. Anytime anybody starts to throw out the idea of a second high school, red alert all the way across the community, because Mcnary and Kaiser are so intertwined.
Yeah.
And there's such a strong sense of identity and commitment from the community for our students and the entire Mcnary, Mcnary community. A lot of the people who live here, graduated from Mcnary. I didn't, but my kids attended there, and it's just really a big part of who Kaiser is.
Yeah.
So we know that we want to, as a community, even if our kids have graduated, still want to be very connected.
Yeah, I feel that. In fact, sometimes I'll nickname our high school Kaiser High School. Just to reemphasize that point that you just made. I remember when I applied for the job, and Chief Cowan was one of the. There was like a zillion people on the interview committee. He was one of the people who was on that first session, and he was talking about, at Mcnary High School, it's the center of Kaiser, and just so you're aware, all the signs in our town are painted blue, and all of our fire trucks are blue. And he gave me that whole spiel, and I loved it. I mean, that's what I signed up for. I mean, I want to be part of a school that is so intertwined with our community. I couldn't think of a better circumstance, and I feel it. I feel the community support. And we try on our end as a high school to reach out and support our community, whether it's community service or, working with our elementary schools. There's a lot of different opportunities for us to be fully integrated. And I got to give a quick shout out. Speaking of that, we had our graduation ceremony at Mcnary High School. We had 4 of them because of parking. And one of our friends that really helped us out was St. Edward's Catholic Church. They allowed us to have our faculty park in their parking lot because there were so many cars. I mean, we had probably 1,000 cars extra because of the ceremonies. And they were great. They were completely work with us, and we really appreciate that. So again, great community partners.
That's how we figure stuff out. We find a way. But the other thing is we make our needs known. Yeah. And when people in our community, they say, well, I didn't get help with something, the first thing I say is, did you ask? Right. Because I know Kaiser. We show up and we get to work. And I love that Mcnary has become, under your leadership, a strong communication between the campus and what's going on and the greater community, so we can know how to get involved in a meaningful way. Otherwise, we're guessing. And in the work I do with the Housing and Homeless Alliance, we've moved away from that. Well, if I were you, I would need, but you're not me.
Right.
So it's really important to find out what people really need And then we can
Yeah.
actually work together in a respectful way. And I think that Mcnary, the whole Mcnary campus has really opened up to being a community partner. And I want to give a huge shout out to your junior ROTC.
Mhm.
Those young men and women know how to work.
Yeah.
When we have a project, Master Sergeant comes out and he brings all of those amazing JROTC students, and they get to work and they get stuff done. They're amazing. The leadership programs. And I want to thank you and the Mcnary staff for helping us recruit youth liaisons to city council and to our city committees. We want our youth voice. We want our young people to understand how cities work. And it's been great to finally not have blanks in that program. We have a new set of liaisons coming. There's still some openings. So
Mhm.
students who are interested in serving on a city committee or commission, get a hold of Mr. Jespersen, get a hold of me. We want to fill every single seat with strong youth leaders who are our leaders of tomorrow and today.
Yeah, well, Javier Martin Venus and Stefan Hammond are two commanders for JROTC, have been amazing. They've given our kids so many opportunities for community service that have helped not only on our campus, but as you mentioned, throughout the city, and it's building leadership and character development. And then Lexi Johnson has done a great job as our leadership advisor, and she actually was our keynote speaker at graduation this year that's selected by students. And so, and not too bad, not too shabby for only being her 4th year in at our school. But yeah, I mean, for all the young people that are listening out there, have skin in the game, participate, have your voice heard. It doesn't matter what age you are, it matters that you have an opinion and that you're willing to work for the betterment of our community.
So what is the formula that you share with all of the students? It's one activity.
Yeah, actually, you got your shirt, and actually I've got mine too. One club, one sport, one activity. Every kid, every year. Bold enough to be the best at educating, nurturing, and inspiring. Yeah, so there is, to be honest with you, there is an element of branding that we take pretty seriously. It works in business and it works in schools as well. And so our one club, one sport, one activity, every kid, every year is really an initiative that talks about the need for kids to be, as the name implies, involved in a club, sport, or activity. I'll give you a statistic. Over the last 7 years, we have 100% graduation rate of students that are involved in 4 years of athletics.
Whoa.
So, but if you think about it, why is that? It's because they have to have time management. They have all their teachers that are obviously harping on to do what they need to do. They also have the coaches that are monitoring their grades as well. They have what's hanging over your head. If you're not taking care of business in the classroom, if your attendance isn't good, then you don't get to play. So, and playing a sport is fun, right? And so, like school should be fun as well as rigorous. I mean, you actually can do both. Like you can enjoy your job and do a good job in your work. They don't have to be awful things. So, and it's not, it's band, it's orchestra, it's sports, it's what have you. And so, or just involved in clubs. We had over 41 of them this year. So we want our kids to have an emotional attachment to their school. We know when they have an emotional attachment to their school, they have better grades, attendance, and behavior. And we've seen improved grades, attendance, and behavior over the last several years because kids, care. So, I mean, and that's always something we have to work on. We know that. It's not something where you just throw out a slogan and hope for the best. You have to grind and make sure that you're always making adjustments to get kids where they need to be. But that is a big part of our secret success.
Secret sauce.
Our secret sauce, not success. Yeah, secret sauce. Yes.
Betty, Pastor Dominguez, I invite you to, if you've got questions or comments.
Well, yeah, Go ahead, Betty.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I certainly can relate to the opportunities for kids to be involved in something, because I remember from my high school days being involved in several clubs. I was not a sportswoman by any stretch of the imagination. And and so, but you're right, it's great fun. It really does tie you closer to your school. And I think, I think back to the kids I knew and some who didn't have the opportunity. It's hard to imagine I can remember back to high school, isn't it? It was a long time ago. Anyway, but the kids who didn't have those same opportunities that I did, and of course in those days it was mostly boys in sports, although there were a few girl sports. And I'll tell you how, this is a hint at how old I was. Basketball was half court for girls.
Oh.
Anyway, so
now.
I'm just really pleased with the job that I see at Mcnary. And you're right, Kaiser Fire, Mcnary Blue is certainly where we are. Anyway, so Pastor, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations, Eric, in your leadership in leading that staff. You have an amazing staff there. I've had the opportunity to work with several of your staff people. Just so gracious, is so helpful. But I had a few questions, and I just want to start out with, and you've touched on it a little bit. What kind of culture have you established at the school that's just contributed to the students just excelling? I mean,
yeah. Well, I think there's a few factors that go into building that culture. One of them is hiring great people. It seems like a no-brainer, but I mean, it's true. If you have great people working with our kids, then amazing things happen. I mean, certainly through your work with LAC, you have had a chance to interact with a number of our kids that we've called it our Latino. Well, we call it a lot of different things, but task force or what have you. But basically, it's just been a group of licensed and classified staff that have worked so hard with a lot of our Latino families, and it's Latino families. It's the kids and it's the mom and dad, aunt, uncle, who have you, and really working to bring them into our building in a very intentional way. I think that was a missing piece early on in the work, is that there's school, and there are a lot of families that say, well, we're sending our kids off to school and we trust that it's going to be fine. And, and then they come home, and, I don't know how you were as a 15-year-old kid, but I know how I was as a 15-year-old kid. And sometimes it was helpful for me to have a little bit more hand on the shoulder. And I'm just speaking for myself, but I'm thinking that probably the fact that we've been a little bit more intentional about having those direct connections between our school and the families has helped the kids, and that's helped the culture. We had a 15% gap in graduation rates between our white students and our Latino students 8 years ago. And 45% of our student body is white, and 45% of our student body is Latino at Mcnary. 45, and then 10% is a variety of other groups. So when you have, of our two biggest groups, a 15-point lag, that's a problem. And 2 years ago, our Latino student population had a 0.3 graduation rate higher. And winning breeds winning. Winning breeds winning. And so I think our communities feel good about that. They both are thriving, and the work continues. I mean, there's not a magic pill. There's no secret sauce. Yeah, you just have to work at it. But we have great people in front of us, great people in front of our kids that do that.
Eric, you guys have done an amazing job to get the kids to buy in, to belong to their school, to identify with their school. As you stated, about 8 years ago, there was a tremendous gap between our white kids and our Latino X kids, and now we are seeing a change in that. And
Yeah.
the question that I had for you was, what factor has contributed to the high rate of graduation among Latino X kids, as well as all other kids of color? I mean, how did they buy into that? Because 8 years ago, when my daughter went to school there, she graduated, but there were her friends that didn't go through school. They dropped out, and the dropout rate was very, very high. But now we're seeing a change, a shift, and it's just great. I mean,
well, there's an old adage, it's not my saying, it's out there. It says, I don't know or I don't care what you know until I know that you care. And so, if we have teachers that are just like, I have the information, it's your job to learn it, and there's not a lot of support or scaffolding or motivation, then you're going to have low dropout or low graduation rates and high dropouts. But if you have people in front of kids that are genuinely showing that they care, their actions speak louder than their words in terms of what they're doing to support our kids, then the motivation of the students change. I'll give you a specific example of how things have changed. We have a counselor, Jespersen, that sent out a survey a few days ago, and the survey was to get names of staff members, licensed and classified staff members that would be willing to do what we did last fall, which is make a visit to every single incoming freshman's home before the school year. We did it last year. We're doing it this year. And I think, don't quote me on this because I might be off by a couple number, or about a number or two, but within a day or two, I think we have something like 52 staff members that are giving up their time to do that. And we'll have, each staff member will probably go to 10 or so homes, and it takes about 90 minutes. And just like, how you doing? Welcome to Mcnary High School. We're so glad you're here, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of a quick little blurb, and then we're off. That is not normal, I don't think. But it just, those little things make a huge difference. I mean, you're making a home visit for no other reason to say welcome. And it's little things like that. And here's the great thing, Pastor Dominguez, that was not my idea. I take no credit for it. The only thing I can take credit for is saying that's a great idea. And so when I say that I've got great staff members, that is an example of great staff members where that idea was born with a counselor, and actually last year with a math teacher as well. Josh Scott, I think, had a role in that. So, winning breeds winning. Winning breeds winning. And when you feel this positive energy, the kids feel it, they work towards it. Our staff, they feel it, they work towards it. Our community feels it and they work towards it. And it would just the momentum keeps going, and it's exciting. And that's why we're talking about it today.
And Eric, I just wanted to just give an example of that. At our LAC gathering, our scholarship fund banquet that we generally have, it's been a drive-through kind of because of the pandemic these last couple of years. But we had Mr. Arias was there, was part of your staff. I mean, he was there for the whole time we were there. And then a teacher from Mcnary, two teachers from Mcnary showed up and were congratulating the kids. And I says, wow, that is amazing when you can get teachers out to let the kids know this is a great accomplishment. You've done a great thing. You're not done yet. You still have, there's still another level and there's still more to do, but congratulations. And so again, Eric, I know you're not taking credit for anything, but we just want to thank you for being part of Mcnary High School, for being the principal. This came to me, and I might surprise you with this question. What's happening for the future for you? Do you think maybe you'll be a a superintendent of schools. You've been so successful in leading Mcnary High School with your leadership and your staff.
Yeah, I don't think I will be a superintendent. I really enjoy what I do, and I actually don't even want to work in any other high school. I want to work at Mcnary High School. I want to be in Kaiser, and I think there's a lot to be said for consistency. And I also would say that, you know, at some point, I won't be the principal. At some point, you know, someone's going to replace me, and I would just hope that whatever systems that we're setting in place, you know, are sustainable. Like that is what we are trying to do, is create sustainable systems for the next person to come in and keep the momentum going. But with that said, I love my job. It's a hard job, but it fills my cup. I love it not only for working within the confines of our high school, but I know the three of you very well, and I appreciate the connections that I get to have through Rotary or through city council, or just through, you know, our church groups, and a variety of other organizations in Kaiser. I believe in our work, and that's what you should do for your profession, right? Is believe in what you do. And that for me is working with kids in high schools.
It's been amazing.
I have to say, so Eric, yeah, I think my internet isn't real stable, and I'm not sure what to do about that right now. But anyway, I just wanted to say that while Eric, it might not have been your idea, what is important that you do is you give your staff the tools to share their ideas. Not everybody wants to do that when in some environments, you know, it's like, well, we should do, you know, so you provide that empowerment, if you will, to your staff to not only come up with good ideas, but to kind of carry out their ideas and to be the best they can be as teachers in the classroom. And that is so important. And I, you know, I did supervise people pretty small compared to high school faculty, but you know, empowering people to be able to do their job is the most important thing you can do as a leader. And clearly, it appears you have done that. So personally, as a member of this community, I appreciate that, because the young people who come through Mcnary are going to be the leaders of our community as time goes on, if they aren't already. And so knowing that they've had that kind of opportunity to be the best they can be is wonderful. So I appreciate what you do. So it might not have been your idea, but you get credit for recognizing a great idea when you hear one and empowering your staff.
Just want to piggyback off of what Betty has said. Betty, just to piggyback off what you just said regarding empowerment, Mr. Camarena a few years ago invited several of the LAC leadership just to come and meet the parents, just to meet them. We actually ate with the parents, ate with some of the kids. We had a great meal, a Latino meal. Man, that was awesome. But we got to meet the kids, we got to meet the parents, and Mr. Camarena was he got so many people together for that meeting, and we were just so impressed what came out of there. We encouraged the kids to graduate, to work hard, because things come through working hard and making an effort. And just basically our message was, you can do it, and we're here to tell you we've done it and you can do it, and we're providing scholarships, and we want to bless you with that. And it just rang so, it was just so impressive in our hearts as a team. And just wanted to bring that up, just to the empowerment and allowing your staff to be your staff, and also to love their job and do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. And Miguel Camarena has been at Mcnary High School for several years. Recently, he went from being a community school outreach coordinator, which is what Eris Astorga is now, to a behavior specialist, and he's a soccer coach as well. And he's a glue guy, meaning that he does a great job of sticking people in our community together with people in our school. Is well respected, well regarded. He's a very good friend, and I cannot say enough good things about his work and bringing our community together. So that's a good story.
I like that story too, because what that really did for the kids is to provide role models of what their life could be like. You know, some of them come from families where no one ahead of them have gone to school or graduated from school, or certainly haven't had the opportunity to, you know, go beyond regular public school. And so to have the opportunity to meet people who have done that and achieved a great deal in the community as a result is really, it can really be empowering for the kids. Is that, wow, I mean, I can be like Pastor Dominguez, and or yeah, well,
Please
anyway,
don't.
whatever. So that's a great thing. I like that.
I love the connection that I hear from, you know, the families in my neighborhood. It's a very different vibe than when my kids went through. The change has been so positive, and I love when I walk on campus. Years ago, when I'd go over there to pick up my daughter or something, quite frankly, I walk in and it's one F-bomb after the other down the hallway. It's not that way anymore. We have young professionals. They carry themselves very differently. There's a sense of purpose and pride, both in themselves and in what they're doing. And it shows in their language, their posture, and the energy, the very positive energy that they are giving off about what they are doing, and they recognize it as meaningful. It's not like, okay, check this box, get this done, I'm out the door. They want to be there because there's a meaning of purpose, and you've helped them understand that there's a reason to be there, other than just check the box at graduation. And the other part I love too is the continuity, that graduation isn't an ending, but it's a transition point, but to the next thing. And with the scholarships, the connection with Mcnary Community College, with CTE, you've helped them in that visioning for themselves into a future that doesn't end at graduation. Here you go, congratulations, you're out of here.
Right.
Now what?
Yeah.
And 13 million, I heard.
Yeah. Kimberly Conley is knocking it out of the park as our college and career specialist. She's done a great job. She took over that job, you know, kind of coming out of the pandemic, which is super challenging. Before her was Rochelle Ferris, that really helped us launch that college and career center. And I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, it is obviously, you know, we talk about graduation rates because I'm a high school, but the reality is we're not really doing our job if we're not preparing kids for that next step, which is, okay, you want to go to a four-year university? Great. Here's what you need to do, and here's how you can help pay for that. Or you want to go to Schmecta? We've had more Schmecta scholars in the Tri-County area for several years running than most high schools in the area. Great partnership with Schmecta. They're great partners. Next year, we're going to try to expand the Asvab test. We were just talking about that the other day. Asvab is the test that people take prior to going into the military to let them know what sort of skills that they have. It allows the military to decide how they're going to recruit them. We want more of our seniors taking the Asvab test as an option. We're going to have you know, our CTE offerings. I mean, there's a lot of kids that can make a lot of money as a plumber or electrician, or a lot of other really important trades right out of high school. We've got a great relationship with CTech, but I would say even more important than that, which is important, is we've got amazing CTE teachers in our building working with kids. So yeah, it's, congratulations, you graduated. Now what, right? And that's really important.
Well, it makes me feel very confident that, I'm retiring from my state job in a couple of months. And, I'm a member of the baby boom generation, as I think Pastor and Betty are as well. And to feel confident of this handoff to strong generations coming after us, that investment that we want to leave something and make sure that our community remains strong.
Yeah.
Not just
Well,
walk off and go, hey, I graduated, I retired, bye.
Well, Mayor Clark, I did not know you were about ready to retire. So first of all, congratulations on that. That's pretty dang exciting.
Yeah.
And secondly, yeah, I mean, it's, I'm the guy that works at Mcnary, but we're all the people that benefit from Mcnary. I mean, we all need to have a school system within our community that is thriving and producing citizens, right? I mean, that's the goal. And we all have a role in that. It doesn't mean that you're an employee of Mcnary all the time, but I mean, again, I'm talking to 3 people that I've spoken with multiple times before because of your valued partnership that you have and your investment that you have with our school. And there's so many more. I feel the support. Our kids feel the support, our staff do. And I appreciate you 3 for all that you do to help our kids.
I want to throw another good thing at everybody. And Ramiro got off before I could remember to bring this up. Recently, Ian Davidson, the chair of Chariots, came to our budget committee and to the city council and asked for and was granted $30,000 to partner with Marion County and the city of Salem in providing free bus passes to students. We had this program years ago. It was wildly successful, but the funding stream evaporated. It was the Betsy program, the business energy tax credit. And when that went away about the same time that Chariots lost their funding through a levy, programs had to go. And that was a very popular program. It was very successful because it allowed students to be able to stay after school, one sport, one activity, one club. They couldn't stay because they had to catch the bus to get home. Even for some students, the cost of a bus pass was a barrier. And recognizing that opportunity, the Chariots board decided to look into, can we do this? So they are putting together, as part of their strategic plan, a pilot program to bring that back. And the Kaiser City Council enthusiastically supported that, as did Marion County and Salem. We see an opportunity to see if we can get this program going again. They're going to pilot it, watch those metrics, the outreach, and then for permanent funding streams. And they're going to aggressively go after that. I think it's going to be wildly successful. But that's just another way that we can partner across our community to provide services, support, and just encouragement to our young people.
Yeah, that is awesome news. As you were talking, I was thinking, gosh, wouldn't that be great if like one bus went through around 4:30 through McNary's parking lot and pick up all the kids that are doing one club, one sport, or one activity, and then take them to the transfer station, or however that would work. Because quite honestly, that would be a need, because we don't have evening activity buses, so that would be actually quite cool.
That would be, and it's easy now to walk from the campus on that driveway past St. Edward's. There's a bus stop right there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, around Claggett. Yeah.
Yeah, that's open all the time, so it's easy to get to that bus stop. It's at Claggett and River, and that's both routes 9 and 19, and that'll get them to the Kaiser Transit Center very easily. The 19 goes to the transit center. I think the 9 does the Park Meadow Loop. but that'll get them to pretty much all points of Kaiser to be able
Yeah.
to get home after they've done their, one sport, one activity, one club stuff as well. So I think it's going to be a great partnership. I think it's going to be a great program. And I'm really excited that Kaiser was able to get some money on the table to get that going again. I think it's a real plus for our community.
Yeah, I do too. That's great news.
So stay tuned for that. That'll be an announcement coming from Chariot when that goes forward, but it was on our budget hearing, so it's out there. Great stuff.
Yeah, very
let's
cool.
wrap up with a couple of things. What's happening with the fire district, Betty?
Like you're on mute.
You know, it's interesting. The computer does what it wants to do, whether or not you want it to.
That is so
Sometimes,
true.
yes. And speaking of the budget, Tuesday night is the fire district board of directors is meeting, and 7 o'clock at the fire station, and we are holding a public hearing on our budget for the new fiscal year, which starts July 1st, and we'll be adopting that budget during that meeting. So that obviously is really important. There are quite a few things to kind of give people to think about. One is National Night Out will be here before we know it. It's August 2nd. And I believe the Kaiser Police Department will be have something on the website to sign up for that before too long. Anyway, and it's important for people to keep an eye on tall grass. With all this rain we've been having, things are growing like crazy, but it wouldn't take more than a few days of hot weather before tall grass becomes fuel. And we want to be careful about that. And of course, before we know it, the 4th of July will be here, and there'll be, we want to be, tell everyone to be careful with fireworks and to be safe, of course, during that time period. I also want to remind people that life jackets are available at Kaiser Rapids Park for people who plan to get out on the water. So if you're going to be out on the river and you go through Kaiser Rapids Park, there are some life jackets there that you can borrow while you're on the water, and be sure everybody in the boat has a life jacket. That's so important. And I want to give a shout out for our inspectors, fire life safety inspectors, Anne Marie Storms and Cody Hike. And since 2019, they have inspected all but 6 buildings in Kaiser for fire safety issues, which is really great. And now we'll be putting them on every other year schedule to kind of be sure everybody stays as safe as they can with everything. And if it's all right with you, Cathy, I would like to give a few updates about Kaiser Library. I was recruited to the Kaiser Library Board this fall. Anyway, so our summer reading program kicks off on June 25th at the Kaiser Civic Center, and Reptile Man will be the featured guest for that event. Kids can get free tickets if they drop by the library this week. And even if you aren't able to get to the library this week to get a free ticket, you're welcome to come. And then anybody who does come will get in free as long as space is available. We also have story times twice a week. Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Is for the whole family, and it's in Spanish. So that's pretty exciting. And Wednesdays at 10:30 is preschool story time. And starting on June 29th, in the patio behind the Kaiser Cultural Center, 3:30 on Wednesdays will be a Beyond Book summer program. So it'll be crafts and that sort of thing, and it'll be a lot of fun for kids to be involved. So I hope that people get involved with the library this summer, and you can check out books. You can get a library card for free. You can sign up online for that. So kaiserlibrary.org. I think so.
Thank you so much, Betty. That is
Anyway,
really
thank you
exciting.
for letting me do that.
No,
But
absolutely.
yes, I'm really thrilled with all the things the library is doing. And anyway, my main contribution, because libraries are not my area of expertise, is giving shout outs about them wherever I go.
That's a very important role. I get the word out. We don't want that to be Kaiser's best kept secret. We want it out there for everybody. Pastor Dominguez, checking in with you. The LIC event was amazing. What else is happening?
Just want to take the time to congratulate our fathers. Tomorrow is Father's Day, and we just want to let you all know that we are not only thinking about you, we're praying about you. We have a big old event going on at the church for anybody who would want to have a free meal. But talking about LAC, we got together this week. We're projecting, we're strategizing to try to fundraise more so we can provide more scholarships to our kids. I'm going to check with either Principal Jespersen or you, Mayor Clark. We are looking for some young candidates to be a part of LAC. If you have any suggestions, it's part of that development of community, the community spirit, volunteerism. We just think that our young people are the key. And so I don't have very much to say regarding events, but we're working hard to try to make Kaiser a quality community to live in. But thank you.
Well, thank you. And I join you in wishing all the fathers in our community a very happy Father's Day. And thank you for being such a strong and important part of all of the children's lives. So they can, as Eric was saying, feel that support from family, from the community, that they matter and they count, and that we're investing in them for their success. Just a couple of things to wrap up the program today. If people want to get out and about, and it will stop raining eventually, but we're not going to wait. Trashy Tuesdays are starting again on this coming Tuesday, the 21st at 5:30. Look up on our website or the city Facebook page. Trashy Tuesday is one of the outreach programs with our environmental division, and people can go out and work as a team on some of our waterways. We have Claggett Creek and all of the different parks along there. We try to help with habitat restoration, but just cleaning up stuff that, unfortunately, there's some people that don't put their trash where it should go, and it ends up in our stream. So getting it out of there and making sure that our environment is healthy and safe. And they do an amazing job with outreach on keeping our stormwater systems clean. I want to make sure everybody remembers that when the stormwater drains are for water only, because those go straight to the river. They do not go through the processing plant. That is from the drain to the river. So water only, nothing else. Also coming up Tuesday night will be our council meeting because of the Juneteenth holiday on Monday. And I wish everybody the best as we celebrate our first Juneteenth as a city. This is a holiday that's been federally recognized by the state of Oregon. And I issued a proclamation recognizing it as well for the city of Kaiser. So our city offices will be closed. And I encourage people to learn more about Juneteenth, what it means for especially our African American community, but what it means for our community at large, that slavery was something that needed to be ended and needs to remain ended forever. On our parks, there are 19 parks. We, again, tall grass, oh yeah, everywhere. And it's really hard to get the mowers through some of them. So we encourage people to be a little patient as our parks crew, which is fully staffed now with our summer temps, are getting out there to keep them clean. The big toy is still closed. The big poles are being extended, so the sails will be properly placed, but a little more out of reach of the young people that decided that they were a parkour course, which they were not designed to do, and it destroyed them. So they're being replaced, raised up. They will be back soon, and the park will be open. But in the meantime, we're not sitting still waiting. 2 picnic structures are under construction by the big toy, so people will be able to go out there and have a covered area for coming and having a picnic, a family time, birthday party. It's going to be a great place for families to gather. So looking forward to that opening up soon. Community dinner is coming up this coming week at St. Edward's, and that's going to be on Wednesday night, starting at 4:30. It is for the whole community. Come on down, share a meal together, share some conversation over just time together and some food. So please enjoy. And
I believe there's a concert this week as well, on the 25th.
25th, that's right. We are going to have our first, it's going to be a summer concert sponsored by Caliber Home Loans. So we're going to have a concert down at Kaiser Rapids Park at the amphitheater. And then the following weekend, the summer concert series from the KRA will get underway. So check the Facebook page for that concert schedule coming up. So we're going to be outside and enjoying fresh air, sunshine, and each other. And last but not least, want to encourage people to let people know about the turf field project. The city council did approve entering into directing staff to bring back the contract to accept the $2 million from Marion County to construct 2 turf fields. We heard from everybody, including Mcnary High School, soccer, football, softball. There's a lot of interest in these fields going in so they can be used and provide more outdoor recreation space. From a grass field to a turf field, the usage goes from about 800 hours a year to 2,800 hours a year. And we need every single one of those hours. Mcnary's field is busy till, as we were told, till 11 o'clock at night because of the demand for outdoor recreation space. So we're excited to partner with Marion County to put in motion providing that infrastructure at Kaiser Rapids Park. So stay tuned for that. Now that we are getting close to signing the agreement with Marion County, partnerships, working together to get those built and managed to get kids and families out on those fields, having a great recreational opportunities. Also, the lower grass area is being seeded right now. It's looking fabulous. Irrigation is going to go in. I call it the cardboard box of Kaiser Rapids Park. It's unprogrammed. It's what you want it to be when you're down there. So you want to play Frisbee, you play Frisbee. You want to have family picnic, you have a family picnic. Pick up football, you do that. It's outdoor grassy space near the river by the walking path for families and our community members to enjoy. So stay tuned for that as well. To reach me, my email is clarkc@kaiser.org. I am so thrilled to be able to continue to serve you as mayor. I am running for another term. So when I tell people I'm retiring, they're going, but are you going to still be mayor? I'm retiring from my paid job. I am able to do that now. The mayor job is like all of you volunteer in the community. This is my way of volunteering. And I'm going to be asking the voters if I may continue to do that for another 2 years. So want to make sure that's clear that I'm retiring from the paid job. I'm still going to be around because this grandma has 4 little ones that I need to spend a lot of time with, and I'm looking forward to that. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the program today. I want to thank Eric Jespersen, the principal of the world-class Mcnary High School, for joining us today. Betty Hart from the Kaiser Fire District, Ramiro Navarro from the Transit District, and Pastor Jose Dominguez from La Luz de Valle Church. It's been a pleasure sharing with you all today, and have a great June.
Yes.